All right, you guys can have a seat. So good. Man. So tonight, we come tonight to our last FSM of the year, which there's excitement because God is just doing some incredible things here. I believe it. It's happening, but there's also a bit of a sadness as we close 2019 spring and shift into the summer, as everybody will be everywhere. And there'll be so many things going on. And so, man, what a privilege it is to be in this space with you guys. If you don't know me, my name is Coert Voorhees. I'm the junior high pastor here at FSM, and I just passed my 30-day mark. So it's been like, whoo, wow. Haven't been fired yet. Okay, I'm just kidding. But no, seriously, it is a privilege to be up here and to be in the space with you. So, man, the party doesn't stop. That's what we're talking about tonight as we continue and close our series in the second week of The Party Doesn't Stop. And last week, we kind of walked through this element of what it looks like to make our mark, what it looks like to make your mark. And Jesus showed us what that looked like in a great way. It was thinking big. Jesus thought big when he took his time and walked this earth. He thought big. He wasn't thinking small. He was not thinking just the Israelites to be saved, but he was thinking everybody. And on top of that, he was not just doing stuff, he was being. Jesus was there, he was present. And so he taught us to be more than do. And last, he showed us how to leave a legacy worth following. And that, my friends, is where we lean into this week, from going to make our mark into what I'm excited to talk about is celebration is fire. Now, I know some of you are like, oh my goodness, he just said that, celebration is fire. And when we came cleared that this is what our main bottom line driven point for you guys to go home with, and this spring with, that celebration is fire, we're gonna walk through that this evening and what I mean by that. And so, but when I think about parties, right? The party doesn't stop. You gotta think, there's so many different styles of party. I mean, you got birthdays, you got weddings, you got the birth of a child that you always do a celebration around that, graduations, even celebrating someone's life after they have passed. There's special moments in that. And then as well as holidays and school events and big sport wins, there's so many different ways that we can celebrate and have a party. And, you know, when I think of all those parties in that way, there's three key things in my mind that are necessary and important in a party. One, preparing. We need to prepare. Two, invitation. We gotta invite. And three, celebrate, right? When I think of preparing, you gotta, what's it smell like? What's it feel like? What time are we starting? Are we gonna have the moonlight? Are we gonna have some music jamming? What's the food gonna be like? So we have to prepare. It has to be some kind or some style of party. And then two, who belongs to this party? We gotta invite the people, the people that you wanna welcome into this space. And then three, my favorite, and where we're gonna camp most of our time tonight, is to celebrate, to go crazy, enjoy. And celebration doesn't have to be this intense like party that we think atmosphere. And it really could just be so simple and joyous. But celebration is to embrace and enjoy the moment and take advantage of that moment. And when I think of invite and prepare and celebrate, there's this word that sticks out to me that partners with celebration. Celebration. And why I think of celebration as fire when I think of fire, there's two ways you can look at it. There's purification. Fire purifies or cleans or builds or makes. It does good things. And then there's the other side of it where it destroys. It can destroy things. And when I think of the California fires or the Oregon fires or Montana fires, it destroyed a lot of property and homes, and it did a lot of bummer stuff. But what I love when I look at a negative image of what fire can do, it did something. It spread. And so then I came to think, what if my hope, my love, my life, my celebration of who I am, what I breathe, what I live for, what if I lived like that, like fire was spreading in my life? Spreading amongst the people that I connect with, the circles that I go into spaces. Before we kind of shift into the celebration as fire, I want to kind of explain how I, at a dinner or a party or a game night, would kind of set up my space. So if you were to come over in my home, man, there's 4 key things that stick out. Music. Man, I'm a guy that loves music, so to kind of set the mood when you walk in the door and there's just that chill vibe, you're feeling like, all right, I could be here. And I even go to the next level. I know I'm crazy, but then when you get to the kitchen, there's music there, and how loud. Each room is different, level of loudness. And then when you go to the bathroom, there's still some type of sound just sitting there when you're going to the bathroom. That's weird. But yes, music is so, so important when I have guests over. The next one is lighting. Who likes fluorescent lightings? Nobody. Oh, stop that. Fluorescent lightings destroy vibes. They do. They do. I mean, the soft lighting just creates a setting. Soft lighting creates a setting that your home, there's a welcoming experience. So I'm a big fan of lighting. Number 3, well, if you don't know, I have a great superpower. Ooh, it's the superpower of smelling. I can sniff anything like that. I mean, it could be in another room and I smell it and I'm like, that smells great. And everyone's like, what's that? And then they open the door like, oh, that's what you smell. I was like, yeah. So, and if it's terrible, it's terrible. So the importance is when you walk into my home, I want it to smell fresh. I want it to smell nice. I want you to feel like, all right, this smells good, whether it's food or a light of candle or whatever it may be. And the last one, certainly not least, is cleanliness. Cleanliness is so important. I mean, I'm always the guy that when people are coming over, and I'm pretty tidy in itself, but when I clean up, I get it all ready to go, and then I'm like, it looks so good. Oh, it's amazing. And then literally as I'm like celebrating, there's 3 dogs that jump on my couch, their hairs, and they're playing, they're throwing all the pillows, and then my 3-year-old jumps on and goes, yay! And you're like, I just cleaned this place. I literally just cleaned this place and it's all messed up. And I guess I say how I set up my space, what it looks like, what it feels like, what it smells like, how it sounds, that's important to me because I want this space to feel like they belong. Like you belong. Like we belong together. There's a connection. And when I think of prepare and invite and celebrate, those words formulate an element called you belong. And here's the thing, Jesus showed us what that felt like. I mean, when you feel like you belong, that means you feel safe, you feel secure, you feel at home, whether it's a place, whether it's a person. And then when you think of another way of, well, if I'm safe and I'm secure and I feel like I belong and I feel like someone's pursuing me to belong, then there's a sense that I'm welcomed into the space. Not just, well, sure, you can come here. It's you have been pursued to be in this space. And so when I slam those 2 words together, that's exactly what Jesus did when he walked this earth. Most times when he jumped into someone's circle or space, not that he said this, but most times his heart was screaming, welcome home. Welcome home. I'm for you. I see great things in you. I love you. I care for you. See, Jesus fostered belonging. He saw so much in people. And how he did this, it blows my mind, because when you think about, okay, if Jesus was a celebration like fire, if his life was all about being celebratory, like he just wanted people to know that life was meant to be lived with meaning and purpose, and there was something bigger and more than what they were doing. And so Jesus, he showed this in these some of the examples, and I can't help not share these. Jesus, when he died and he rose again, a couple days later, Jesus hung out with his friends and ate breakfast on the beach. He wasn't going around teaching people. He literally hung out with his friends and had breakfast with them. And not only did he do that with his friends, but throughout his time, he also ate with other people that you and I, maybe when you walk in your halls and you look at them, you say, they're weird, or I just don't get them, or and they smell. Or, man, I heard what their life is like at home, and that sucks. And so Jesus pressed in with people, and that shattered a lot of different people. It actually crossed lines to the religious leaders. They were not happy how Jesus was reacting or acting towards people who were outsiders. Jesus took time to have conversations with people. When you think of the woman at the well, he pressed into that space. This woman is going to get water, and she needs to get water, but is doing it during the midday at the hot, hot sun where no one is there, because she has done some messed up things, has made poor choices, and she doesn't want to look bad. And so she goes to a time when no one else is going to be there, and Jesus presses in and has conversations with this woman and other people. Jesus healed people. He didn't just physically and spiritually, he literally, in emotional way, healed people. And so, guys, Jesus, this is what blows my mind. Jesus used celebration to bring hope to people. Yeah, he used celebration to give them hope that there's something more than what you're doing right now. What does that look like for you? Are you hopeless? Is there something that's telling you like, man, I don't know about this Jesus. I mean, I grew up in the Christian home. I grew up, going to fellowship, but is Jesus truly your hope? Not only did Jesus bring hope to people, but he used celebration to bring them closer to him. He wasn't trying to run away from the outsiders. No, it's the opposite. Jesus was going to them and he said, come in. I want to know you. I want you to know me. That was different. It was counteractive of what was happening. And not only did he bring hope to people and bring them closer to him through celebration, Jesus used celebration to empower people. He saw something and empowered them more than they even saw in themselves. I mean, that's pretty cool. I mean, the woman who was caught in the act of adultery, brought out in shame, completely naked. And the Pharisees and the religious leaders said, we got to stone this girl. And Jesus just looks at them and says, first one who's perfect can throw that rock. And one by one walked away, and then he has a conversation with her and says, go and sin no more. Go be you. Go live life like you were meant to be living. I mean, if that doesn't empower you, I don't know what does. And so Jesus, through celebration, uses so many ways to connect with people. So why? Because celebration is fire. It's a big deal. It causes a ripple effect. It spreads. Even though Jesus was the reason why people were gravitating towards him, he still took the limelight off himself and poured into people and his audience individually. What? He literally took time to press into people, which is like, if this is all about him, the savior of the world, he still took time to press in with other people. It's amazing. Like I mentioned before, the religious leaders did not like that. They hated it, actually. And there's a guy named Luke who walked with Jesus and accounted this, and I want you to take a look on the screen or in your own Bible. It says this in Luke 1:2. It says, tax collectors and other notorious sinners often came to listen to Jesus teach. And I love this. This is so good. This made the Pharisees and teachers of religious law complain that he was associating with such sinful people, even eating with them. And I love this, how the Message puts it in Luke 15:2. He takes in sinners and eats meals with them, treating them like old friends. So let me give you an understanding. When you go out to eat with someone, when you eat a meal with somebody, that's a big deal. It's establishing something. There's something special happening. Now I know through business or contact or even like you're just hanging out with a teammate or whatever it may be. But in most cases, when we're eating with people, there's a significance of connection there. When I think of breakfast and dinner, those are the times where you connect with your family or ones that you love the most. And when you think of lunch, you're thinking friends and acquaintances. But nonetheless, no matter what meal you're having, when you're having a meal with somebody, you're inviting them into your space. You're saying, come on in. You get to know me a little bit more. You're worth my time. You know, Jesus has an incredible response because he was drawn to the forgotten. He was drawn to the, well, maybe next time crew. Or he was drawn to the picked last in gym crew. He was drawn to, you just don't fit here right now crew. He was drawn to fill in the blank. And Jesus used these three odd stories that were dynamic and powerful. And I want you to kind of press in with these stories with me. There's three of them. One was the lost sheep, lost coin, and the lost son. And the first one, when you think about the lost sheep, I love this. This is so good. The shepherd, he's got tons and tons of sheep. And one drifts off and goes on its own. And you think, he's got plenty. I'm like, what? No worries, let him go. No, he leaves the rest of them and finds that one. And when he comes back, this is what he says. In Luke 15:6, he says, celebrate with me. I've found my lost sheep. So then you go to the story of the lost coin. This lady frantically looking in her home. She's trying to clean up and trying to find that shimmer so she could see that she lost the coin. Something that's so valuable and so important to her. And you're like, lady, give it up. You could have worked today and maybe made some of that back. And instead, she chooses to look for it so much that she is so frantic to tell her neighbors that she's lost this coin. And when she finds it, celebrate with me. I have found my lost coin. She's celebrating for a coin. And she tells her neighbors. And the third story, Jesus talks about two sons with a father. And the youngest son, rebel, black sheep kind of kid. And so bad that he was like, Dad, when you die, you're gonna give me my share, but I don't want it when you die. I want it right now, and I'm gonna leave. I want to do my own thing. And so his father honors that. He takes his share of the money and he blows it. He just destroys it. He goes partying. He does whatever he wants to do, and he has no more money left. And seriously, is at the point where he's eating with pigs. And so this guy starts to think, wow, being at my home is better than this. And so he goes back home and says, Dad, I'm so sorry. And I can just imagine his dad like wide-eyed, super excited, and just puts his finger on his lips to shut him up like, hey, hold on. And he says these words, which are super powerful in verse 23 and 24 of 15. He says, we must celebrate with a feast. He was lost, but now he is found. So the party began. Wow. So these three stories, all of them have a resounding similarity. celebration. You know, as the band comes up, the party doesn't stop, FSM. It doesn't stop when we pause for the summer on our Wednesday nights. It doesn't. The party continues. And that's exactly what Jesus is trying to declare in his time when he was there with his people, with his friends, with his followers. He was trying to embrace the culture and let them know the party doesn't stop. And so I want to ask you a question, FSM. You've been invited to the party. God has totally said, you're welcome to be here. You're welcome to be a part of me, a part of the family of God. But are you going to continue that? Are you going to continue that invitation that God sent you? He's prepared a place. He's prepared a heart for you, prepared a life for you, and he's inviting you into that life. But you have to accept that invitation to go celebrate. See, what makes it even more powerful, when you go, why not invite other people? I mean, this amazing celebration news that Jesus, the man who came on planet Earth, literally lived a perfect life for you and for me and the rest of the world, and said, welcome home, because you're totally worth my time. You're totally worth everything that I offer. And that's my life. And his life covers everything that we did, will do, and have done, and doing. See, Jesus invites everybody. You know how to make our mark? It's to press into that invitation. It's to bring somebody with you. It's not to let go or give in to the habits or choices that you make regularly in your lifestyle. It's to turn to God and just press in with him. And I love this. Jesus invites you to the party to celebrate. Are you coming? And if so, who are you bringing? Because this amazing antidote, this medicine that God's given you and me to be free from our sins, it shouldn't be hidden. It should be something that we share with the world. So as we go into summer 2019, I hope to hear stories of how you make your mark. And I hope to hear stories of how you spread hope, life, love, excitement, celebration like fire, because celebration is fire. I mean, the life that you live, if people could see the love that you have for them, it's like a celebration happening. They feel hope, they feel worth, they feel loved, they feel accepted, they feel like they belong. And this is what Jesus did while he was here. And that's what he's called you and me to do, not just for ourselves, not just for our families, but the circles that we live in, West Little Rock, Arkansas, United States, wherever you travel, you have a chance to spread hope, love, life like fire. The party doesn't stop here, FSM. Let me pray for us. Jesus, thank you for being in this space. Thank you for every student in this room. Those who could not be here tonight, please be with them and their families. God, thank you for just being real and life-giving. God, we have so much to celebrate, and we're going to do that in a moment here. God, we just want to celebrate you and what you've done for us as we sing songs and talk with you and pray with you. And you are so wanting us to hear your heart, that we belong. So I pray that if there's a student tonight who just doesn't know you, I pray that take a chance on you tonight, that they would find somebody and let them know that they want to learn more about Jesus, who this Jesus is. And God, if there is somebody here who has a relationship with Jesus and just is going through rough waters or just is still trying to figure things out, God, I pray that they will press in more with you, not doing more, but just being in your space. And God, again, help them to just press in and connect with somebody so they can talk, ask questions. God, the more we ask questions, the more we're getting connected. And so God, may you be praised tonight. In Jesus' name.